अस्सलाम वालेकुम। प्रोग्राम एम्बेसी रोड में खुश आमदीद। नाज़रीन, आज हमारे साथ हमारे मेहमान हैं पाकिस्तान में ब्राज़ील के सफ़ीर जनाब अल्फ्रेडो लियोने। हम उनसे बात करेंगे आज पाकिस्तान और ब्राज़ील के बाहमी ताल्लुकात के हवाले से, कुछ ब्राज़ील के बारे में। ब्राज़ील एक बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट अहम मुल्क है जनूबी अमेरिका का, बल्कि जनूबी अमेरिका का सबसे बड़ा मुल्क है और एक राइजिंग इकॉनमी है दुनिया में। और इसकी मिसाल दी जाती है कि ब्राज़ील किस तरह एक इकोनॉमिक पावर जो है वो बनता जा रहा है। इस पर बात करेंगे और हम उनसे गुफ्तगू करेंगे ग्लोबल इश्यूज़ के ऊपर, आलमी मामलात पर, ख़ास तौर पर वॉर ऑन टेरर के ऊपर। Ambassador, thank you for joining us in this program.
My pleasure to be here.
Ambassador, let's talk about Brazil and Pakistan. They are geographically far apart, but in today's world, geographical distances don't matter. How do you look at the relations between Brazil and Pakistan at the moment?
You put it very well. Distance today is no longer a problem. Brazil and Pakistan are very far away countries in terms of distance, but we are coming closer and closer together. So our two countries are very good friends. We have absolutely not a single negative issue in our bilateral agenda, which is something extraordinary. And our relations are improving, are increasing. Our trade relations are quite in good shape. So we are today with a balance of trade of $400 million, which is quite significant. We are by far the biggest commercial partner of Pakistan in Latin America because of this. So, and we are also improving our cultural relations, our educational relations, and everything goes very well with our political relations.
Ambassador, you mentioned the trade relations, and it is heartening to note that our trade relations are growing, and current trade volume is at $400 million, which is very encouraging. In what areas the two countries are trading?
Well, we have a lot of trade in sugar and textiles, and Pakistan exports a lot of textiles to Brazil, and the other way around. Brazil also exports textiles to Pakistan. We have a trade with surgical instruments, manicure instruments, plastics. So basically these are the most important items.
And what about the textile industry? Pakistan is also a big textile exporter, and also Pakistan has a huge experience of textile industry, running textile industry. So Brazil is also very important in textile. Can these two countries benefit from each other's experience?
Oh, for sure, and they are doing so. There is an increasing number of businessmen, Pakistani businessmen of the field of textiles, who go frequently to Brazil, and the same from Brazil to Pakistan. So, and this interaction of Brazilians and Pakistani businessmen has been helpful, not only for trade, but also for the knowledge of producing textiles or garments. So this industry, the fashion industry also.
Brazil's economy is greatly dependent on agriculture. Agriculture segment is very important in the Brazilian economy. How could Brazil help Pakistan to boost agriculture production in Pakistan?
Well, we have many areas in common. So, for instance, sugar is an area, because Pakistan, as we all know, is a producer of sugar, but Brazil is the largest producer of sugar. This is one very important area. Another area is the techniques that we use in Brazil in agriculture, because Brazil is a very big country, it's a continental-sized country, and we have different kind of soils. So I think there is a lot of room for exchange of experiences in techniques of agriculture, in
sugar production,
ethanol production also. For this purpose, there will be a group of Brazilian specialists who will come to Pakistan in the second week of October, which means in 1 month. And they will come here exactly to talk about the experiences of Brazil and to later on to invite Pakistani specialists to go to Brazil and to see in the field how things are going in Brazil. The techniques of agriculture, techniques of production of sugar, probably production of ethanol. So Brazil is very important in biofuel. And so in biofuel today is a very important issue anywhere, including Pakistan. No? So this is, I think it will be very helpful, very useful, the trip of these Brazilians to Pakistan.
As you mentioned that Brazil is the largest producer of ethanol, and Pakistan needs ethanol like anything else. So how could Brazil teach Pakistan or import some training to Pakistanis to produce ethanol?
Well, if you allow me, I would prefer to say exchange of experiences, because for sure the Brazilians will have a lot to learn from Pakistan. So I think we take ethanol in a different way. So both countries produce ethanol, but in a different way. Brazil takes ethanol from the juice of sugarcane, and Pakistan takes ethanol from the molasses. So it's a different kind of technology. But I think this is the real point, that perhaps it will be more interesting for Pakistan to begin to use this kind of technology and to make some changes, and this to have a bigger production of ethanol.
But do you think that Pakistan has the required infrastructure and technology to produce ethanol so that it could be used as a fuel?
Certainly yes, because you are already a large producer of sugarcane, molasses and sugarcane. What I think, well, I'm not a specialist in this, but what I have read about this is that first there is a need for the enrichment of the sugarcane itself. So to make the sugarcane richer in terms of the power, the quality of sugarcane. And then perhaps some changes in the technique of producing ethanol, and in a later stage, which is more difficult, is how to employ ethanol in the everyday life, which means the cars will start
as
running.
A fuel.
Yes.
So is Brazil using ethanol as a fuel? I mean, has Brazil using this as a fuel in cars and other machines?
Well, it's difficult to take it as a truth, but I can guarantee that the data is correct. 87% of the cars which run in Brazil, 87% run with ethanol. Usually they run with a possibility, which is they may run with gasoline and also with ethanol. This combined gasoline and ethanol, or only gasoline. So when you go to a gas station in Brazil, depending on the price of the day, you choose to fill
whichever
the tank.
is cheaper. Exactly. The car owner will go for that. Exactly. So those who use ethanol as a fuel, the car users, are they satisfied with the quality of this fuel, ethanol fuel?
They are perfectly satisfied, because this is a technology which is an indigenous technology. So this means it was created by Brazil, because as you know, other countries use ethanol, but not from sugarcane. We use ethanol from corn, for instance. But Brazil developed this during a time that we were heavily dependent on oil, and then we decided to invest a lot in this technology. But this was 40 years ago. So this technology has been improved in Brazil for 40 years. So today you'll see no difference between if the car runs with ethanol or runs with the gasoline. It's absolutely the same. What people say that with ethanol the car runs a little bit faster.
With ethanol?
With ethanol. So this for some people, especially young people, is an advantage. No, of course you need to go to the gas station more often if you decide to use ethanol only, no, because gasoline, you need less gasoline than ethanol. But the price will be the same or even better for those who use ethanol.
इंटरेस्टिंग इन्वेस्टर विल कंटिन्यू दिस डिस्कशन। नाज़रीन, एक मुख्तसर ब्रेक लेते हैं और ब्रेक से वापसी के बाद हम पाकिस्तान में ब्राज़ील के सफ़ीर से मज़ीद गुफ्तगू जो है वो जारी रखेंगे, पाकिस्तान ब्राज़ील के ताल्लुकात के हवाले से, इलाकाई उमूर पर और फिर आलमी मामलात पर। वेलकम बैक। हम बात कर रहे हैं पाकिस्तान में ब्राज़ील के सफ़ीर से और उनसे गुफ्तगू जारी है कि पाकिस्तान और ब्राज़ील किस तरह अपने कमर्शियल ताल्लुकात या तजारती ताल्लुकात को आगे बढ़ा सकते हैं। एम्बेसडर, यू mentioned your meeting with President Zardari when you came as ambassador. He took interest in ethanol as a fuel to be used in Pakistan. Do you think that he is very serious and he is thinking of investing in this sector so that Pakistan can also go on ethanol as a fuel?
Oh, for sure, because that's the reason why we are bringing these Brazilians. Among other items, they will talk also about ethanol. Ethanol is not used only in cars, it's used in tractors. So this means it is used for the fields, for agriculture. Yes, and very soon it will start being used in airplanes. So this means it's a
revolution. It means a revolution.
A revolution. It's a clean energy, so it's clean. It gives a lot of jobs because if you take into consideration the amount of jobs given by the production and distribution of oil, and you put the same with ethanol, you have many times plus in ethanol because you are working in the fields for this, no, and you are creating jobs. So this is something very important that I believe it will be of the interest of Pakistan, and that's exactly what President Zardari told me.
Hydroelectricity is generated in Brazil in a big way, and I think a big segment of energy is being generated from water. So can Brazil share its experience in the hydroelectricity production with Pakistan?
Oh, for sure. Brazil is quite strong in the electrical dams construction, and most of the power needed in Brazil, most of it come from hydroelectric power plants, and so it's also a clean energy. It's a clean energy.
And cheap as well.
And cheap. Yes, so this of course requires an investment to build the dam, no? Brazil has a large experience in that. We built in the end of the 70s, still in terms of power, the largest dam in the world, which is Itaipu. And there are many Brazilian companies which are very strong in this. There is one specific company which is the largest construction company of dams, which is Odebrecht. And so we have a large experience, and of course we will be very happy and willing to cooperate, to participate in this need of Pakistan.
Because Pakistan is also thinking of building new dams to generate electricity from water. Pakistan is contemplating the Bhasha Dam, where Pakistan can generate almost 4,000 megawatts of electricity. Pakistan is also planning to start other hydroelectric projects. So is Brazil ready to invest in these projects or share the technology only?
Well, Brazil is a very free economy, no? So the dam construction companies are all private, no? So we have no state companies in this field, no? And so what we have done here in the embassy, we have pointed out to Brazil, to our authorities and to our businessmen, to our companies, that Pakistan is a good market for investment in this, because I believe that this is certainly a future for Pakistan to take good profit of the potential for the hydroelectrical plants. And so this, I hope and I'm working hard on this, that Brazilian companies will take interest in coming to Pakistan and
investing in these projects.
Yes.
What other areas can you suggest to the people of Pakistan, to the government of Pakistan, where Brazil can share its experiences with Pakistan to give boost to its economy?
Well, there are many areas that we share, that we have in common. The most important ones I think we have mentioned, which is basically agriculture in general, which means how water resources, how to irrigation, this seeds enrichment. So these techniques in agriculture, which are numerous. So I think these experiences can be shared, and this will be very important for both countries to share this experience. I think, we mentioned ethanol. I think in the production of cotton and for textiles is another field that we can work together. There is a possibility also of mining, because Balochistan is very rich in mines and this, and Brazil has also a very important production of metal and gold and other metals, and so in mining Brazil is quite strong. So we are doing already quite a lot in Afghanistan, so we may begin in Pakistan also. So there are for sure, the question is that since Brazil and Pakistan are faraway countries, belong to completely different regions. So there is, in a way, sometimes businessmen are a little bit shy
to travel far.
Exactly. So, but this is the job, the work of the embassy, to convince Brazilians, especially Brazilian businessmen, to come to Pakistan and to see the huge potential of this country, the huge possibilities of this country, and at the same time, also to make Brazil better known for Pakistani businessmen, and to show Brazil as a large market which will be very useful, fruitful for Pakistani businessmen.
Brazil is known for sports, especially for football, and Brazil has been the world champion for years. So how can Brazil help Pakistan boost and build the football game in Pakistan, because Pakistan stands nowhere in this game?
Well, as you said, Brazil is the country of football. No, football is by far our national sport. The most important sport in Brazil is football for sure, although we are doing quite well in other sports, for instance, like volleyball and this and the other areas too. But for this, to improve this, to make this interest in Pakistan for football, to make it bigger, so this year we sent a football coach from Pakistan for a training course in Brazil.
To Brazil?
Yes, to Brazil. So he stayed there for a week, and then he met many people, and he followed this course, which was open to other countries. And for the first time, Pakistan was invited. So I believe that there is, for sure, a field to work on, and especially in the young generation, I think the interest for football is increasing. So, and this is an area that for sure we can improve our relations.
Brazil is, you can help Pakistan by coaching the footballers here. So Pakistan has, I think, as far as my information goes, Pakistan has also been able to get the services of a coach for the Air Force football team. Correct. And so the Federation of Football in Pakistan has ever approached you, your embassy, your government, to get the support from Brazil to produce coaches in Pakistan, football coaches, so that this game could be strengthened?
Well, I've been in touch with the Football Federation of Pakistan, and in fact, the head of the Football Federation of Pakistan indicated the coach that we invited to Brazil. So I asked him that if he could give me a name of a coach to be sent. and we had a very nice talk. I think this is something that we have to, something that we can work together, and that we are going to have good results. What I can say so far, besides this trip of this coach, is that I got the guarantee of my authorities that in all opportunities open to foreign coaches or to foreign people interested in football, Pakistan will be part of it, which means that Pakistan will always be invited from now on to all courses, to seminars. So this means we will try to attract Pakistani authorities, especially the Football Federation, to Brazil to work together in this field.
Ambassador will continue this discussion. नाज़रीन एक और मुख्तसर ब्रेक लेते हैं और ब्रेक से वापसी के बाद हम पाकिस्तान में ब्राज़ील के सफ़ीर जनाब अल्फ्रेडो लियोनी से गुफ्तगू जो है वो जारी रखेंगे। वेलकम बैक। हमारी गुफ्तगू हो रही है पाकिस्तान में ब्राज़ील के सफ़ीर से। Ambassador, there are certain issues which are confronting the entire world, and terrorism is one of those issues. Pakistan has suffered a lot in this war against terror. Pakistan is cooperating with the United States of America and the international coalition which was created to fight terror. How do you look at this phenomenon of terrorism, and how Brazil is participating to fight terrorism?
Well, first of all, I have to say that joining the other members, I believe all members of the international community, Brazil praises Pakistan for its efforts towards fighting terrorism. So we acknowledge the effort and the struggle, the fight which goes on in Pakistan against terrorists. And also we recognize the sacrifices that this fight against terrorists has caused to Pakistan in terms of lives, in terms of resources. And so we do praise Pakistan for this role, important role in this field of the international community. Now, fortunately, Brazil has no problem with terrorists in its territory. So we have many other problems, but not terrorism. But Brazil has a very strong position against terrorism and terrorists. So Brazil has a very strong position against violence. So we understand that solutions for problems can only be achieved by peaceful means, that wars and military fights, operations, this is not an option. Maybe a way to get close to a solution, but a real solution for a problem, especially for a big issue like terrorism, this can only be achieved by peaceful means, by convincing people, by creating jobs, creating riches, putting people together, opening borders. So this is what we believe, and this is what we stand in the international community.
You mentioned that giving proper opportunities to the people, giving them education and job opportunities can help reduce the chances of terrorists to rise and to increase. How do you look at the world's efforts in this regard? Is world doing enough to give justice, social and economic justice to the people in the areas where militancy and extremism is rising its head, or there's a need to do more?
Well, I think one key word for this would be integration. So if you integrate, if you put people together, if you sit down to talk, and if you really understand the problems and the needs of peoples in general, of countries, of governments, so this like a stage ahead, like you are going to have a step ahead in terms of finding a solution. So we don't think that the military might will be is a possibility, and in any case will be a solution. So if peoples and governments talk more and understand more each other, I think we would go to the right, we would be in the right track.
Mr. You said that Pakistan and Brazil can be partners in education, in the field of education. Pakistani youth is interested in getting education abroad. So what are the prospects for Pakistani young people to go to Brazil and study there?
Well, there is for sure a possibility. We have a large program of scholarships, and but the first step to make this program available for Pakistani students is to create a course of Portuguese, because all courses in Brazil, graduation courses, all of them are given in Portuguese, no?
The language.
The language, which is the Brazilian language. No?
So they have to learn the Portuguese language first.
Yes, so that's why last month we created a course of Portuguese here in the embassy, and we are structuring this course to get a bigger number of students and to prepare these students to apply for these scholarships to go to Brazil and to study in Brazil. I think this is something that we have to go very deep in it, because it's very important. I do believe in education. I think education is basic. So far, this is something, it will take more time, because at first the students have to learn Portuguese, and then they have to apply for the scholarship. So this, we are talking about 2, perhaps 3 years in this. So it's a long process. But at the moment, what we did was to offer to Pakistan, and it was accepted, specific courses. And these ones, well, these ones we offer to Pakistan and to other countries will be done in English, and especially because they are for foreign students and specialists, and are specific courses in different fields of technical cooperation. No? So this, since these are not university courses, not college courses, are specific courses and short-term courses, these will be done, they will be offered in English, the classes will be given in English, and that's why I believe that 24 Pakistanis will benefit from this.
So what are the prospects of increasing this number? Short courses, people go there, get skills in technical fields and come back to serve the country.
Well, I think this is, besides the main goal, which is the knowledge that they will acquire, I think there are other very positive aspects in this. First of all, these Pakistanis will know Brazil, will be in touch with Brazilians. So they will start a cooperation person to person with Brazilians. So they will exchange ideas. So this is very, very important for those students and specialists who travel to Brazil, and also very important for Brazilians who receive them, because they will receive all this input about Pakistan and how Pakistanis think and react, the needs of Pakistan. I think this relation between person to person is very important, because usually embassies work in relations between governments or between institutions. Okay, I also agree that these relations are very important.
But people to people relations are more important.
Well, as important as this. So I think when a Pakistani goes to Brazil, or when a Brazilian comes to Pakistan, there is a world which opens to this person. So when the people they meet, especially if they go for a professional reason, they will meet counterparts, people who are involved in the same field. So you can, or certainly will begin to establish a relation which will last for a lifetime. And that we'll be always in contact, and we'll see each other in other forum. So that's why the reason why I do believe in this, that we started this year a program to send Pakistanis from different areas of society to go to Brazil, to visit Brazil, and to establish contacts with their Brazilian counterparts. And this has been very successful. we have done besides this football coach, we've done this in the field of art. So we took the owner of an art gallery from Islamabad, a blogger from Karachi, a fashion designer, a prominent fashion designer from Lahore, and the owner of a promoting company, event promoting company from Islamabad. So this first group of 4 people have gone to Brazil, have stayed in Brazil, made many contacts in Brazil, and came back to Pakistan and have talked to their counterparts in Pakistan about their experiences in Brazil. So this is very good.
So art and culture can strengthen our relations between Brazil and Pakistan.
Well, I think I put usually in this way. There are the tough items or the tough matters and the soft matters. If you want to attract people, if you want to exert an appeal to people, you have to offer first art, education, and sport. Yes. Later on, we talk about business. We talk about
hard things.
Yes, we talk about cooperation. So, but especially for the young people. So, if you talk about sports, if you talk about art, music, so then immediately you establish a connection. And from this, you go to education and other areas.
Interesting. We'll continue this discussion. नाज़रीन एक और मुख्तसर ब्रेक लेते हैं. ब्रेक से वापसी के बाद हम फिर अपनी गुफ्तगू का ये सिलसिला जो है उसको आगे बढ़ाएंगे. वेलकम बैक. हमारे साथ हैं पाकिस्तान में ब्राज़ील के सफ़ीर जनाब अल्फ्रेडो लियोनी, और उनसे हम बातचीत कर रहे हैं पाकिस्तान ब्राज़ील के ताल्लुकात के हवाले से, दहशत गर्दी के मसले के हवाले से, और पाकिस्तान और ब्राज़ील को किस तरह एक दूसरे के करीब लाया जा सकता है. You also mentioned food, food and music. These are the 2 other areas for which Brazil has attained a lot of reputation. So how could you use these 2 areas to bring the 2 countries, Pakistan and Brazil, closer?
Well, that's a very good occasion to talk about this, because this week we are celebrating our National Day. So Brazil is celebrating the 189 years of independence, of its independence. And to celebrate this day in Pakistan, we brought to Pakistan a group of musicians from Brazil. So a singer and 3 musicians, a band, and also a chef, a cook, to prepare the food for us. And this group, these Brazilians, will be in the Marriott Hotel and also in the Majlis restaurant, preparing Brazilian food and presenting Brazilian music. So a very nice, very important singer, young singer called Veronica. And so this will be basically samba and popular music of Brazil. So I think this is the first time this happens in Pakistan, that you have live music from Brazil here in Islamabad, and I'm very happy to be able to give you this. And I hope this is just the first experience, so the first trip of this group, so that others will come in the next years. Because Brazil is a very young and lively, has a very young and lively society. So our population is very connected to music, to art, and so football, samba, and art, in fact, are always present in Brazil. So we have many parades, the carnival parades, which are very famous. So it's very often people go to the streets to parade, to celebrate, to sing, to dance. So it's a very lively country. So I think it's interesting to show to Pakistanis, to Pakistan, how we do that in Brazil, how we face this in Brazil.
You have tasted the Pakistani food as well, because you have been here for some time. What is your impression about the Pakistani food, and how the 2 foods, the Pakistani food and the Brazilian food, are different from each other?
Well, there are some differences, but a lot of coincidences. So we both Pakistani food and Brazilian food are very strong in barbecues. We do it in a different way, but basically the same idea and the same interest, the same taste. So I'm a fond of Pakistani food, and I eat a lot of not only barbecue, but a lot of lentil, rice, and mutton. So this is this is a problem because I love to eat. So the Pakistani cuisine is not an exception for me. I eat quite often Pakistani cuisine, not only in restaurants but also in my house. I have a Pakistani cook, and Brazilians are very interested in foreign cuisines, and this is something that we still have to work how to take to Brazil the Pakistani cuisine, the Pakistani flavors. One important difference is the pepper sauce, because you use more in the Pakistani cuisine than we use in Brazil. Only in a very regional cuisine that we use a lot of pepper sauce, but not in the same scale of Pakistan.
If we Pakistanis try to open restaurants of Pakistani food in Brazil, some important cities of Brazil, what are the prospects of Pakistani food becoming popular in Brazil?
Well, what I can say is that Brazilians are crazy for novelties, for new things. And so a Pakistani restaurant would be a great success, because everybody would be interested, because it's new, it's something unknown. And then after when people will realize how good Pakistani cuisine is, I'm sure this would be a great success.
Pakistan is also home to a lot of ancient sites, historical sites, and a lot of ancient culture. So is there any interest in these historical sites, in the ancient cities from the Brazilian people?
Well, certainly. Well, the Brazilians that I have received here who came to visit Pakistan during my stay, I've been here for almost 2 years now, all of them, no exception, all of them want to go to Lahore, and they are aware of the importance of the Mosque of Lahore, and they all want to go there. And I usually go with them. And so I travel.
Mosque.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I travel quite often to Lahore, but also to other areas. But sometimes it's more difficult to get there, and I think there is a problem of the infrastructure, and so Lahore is very easy, as we all know, to get from here by road or by air. It's very easy to get to Lahore anytime, any day. But to other areas which are also as important or almost as important, the situation is not the same. So I think as soon as we have a better infrastructure, so there will be a bigger interest of Brazilians to come to Pakistan and to visit other areas of Pakistan.
How do the arts of the two countries differ from each other? The painting, the music, and the sculptures and statues and other things. Are there any similarities or dissimilarities between the two arts?
I think the dissimilarities are bigger, because this is very different. So Brazilian art and Pakistani art are very different because of two different traditions. So the Brazilian art comes from the Baroque, from Europe, and from the Pakistani art from much different. So the Muslim world, which is have a big impact in terms of art. Also in music, we have an enormous influence of Africa in our music. So samba, basically, the rhythm of samba is an African rhythm. And also in martial arts, we have capoeira, which is something that we took also from Africa, and Pakistan has a different interest in martial arts and different martial arts itself. So, but this is, I think, is very, in a way, very good. Because if you have countries that have different expressions, the interest among those two peoples will be bigger to know this. So I'm sure that Pakistanis are very interested in knowing better Brazilian music, Brazilian art, Brazilian martial arts, at the same time that Brazilians are keen, are willing to know more about art, martial arts, and music of Pakistan.
The last question, is there any Muslim population in Brazil, and what is the percentage?
Yeah, well, there is a Muslim population for sure. And, well, if we take into consideration, for instance, the immigration of the Lebanese and all other Arab peoples, Arab countries, so we can say that it's a large immigration. No, there is a lot of descendants of Syrians, of Lebanese, of Turkish. Unfortunately, not yet a big percentage of Pakistanis in Brazil. But anyhow, the question is to know how many still follow the Muslim faith and this. But anyhow, what is important is that the Muslim community is present in Brazil and lives very comfortably in Brazil.
Harmonious life.
Very harmoniously, and so they are very, very much respected. And you find mosques in many places of Brazil, many places of Brazil. And this is, I've never heard of any problem with a Muslim or with a mosque. And so Brazil is a very peaceful country, and we do respect all religions and all faiths and all traditions. So this, what I can assure you and all Pakistanis, that whenever you go to Brazil, you feel at home. And Brazil treats everybody as brothers and sisters.
थैंक यू एम्बेसडर। नाज़रीन, आज हमने पाकिस्तान में ब्राज़ील के सफ़ीर जनाब अल्फ्रेडो लियोनी से गुफ्तगू किया पाकिस्तान और ब्राज़ील के ताल्लुकात के हवाले से, और पाकिस्तान और ब्राज़ील में साइंस, टेक्नोलॉजी, ज़राअत के शोबों में किस तरह ताउन हो सकता है। उन्होंने दहशत गर्दी के हवाले से भी अपनी राय का इज़हार किया और कहा कि दहशत गर्दी को सिर्फ फौजी ताकत के ज़रिए नहीं बल्कि मुज़ाकरात के ज़रिए हल किया जा सकता है। यही आज का प्रोग्राम था। जावेद सिद्दीक को इजाज़त दीजिए। खुदा हाफ़िज़। थैंक यू फॉर बीइंग विद अस। माय प्लेजर।
Pleasure to be here.